Yo, no funny shit. I'm about to buy a car and start hanging out in Queens, yo.
Yeah,
Like that's real, like old New York nigga. Like that's where you go. You just buy a car and you fucking live where there's no subway stops. It's between 53rd Street,
Well, that's wild.
53rd Place, 53rd Lane. You can't find me. You don't know where I'm at.
Yeah, that's just
you could drive as long as you want. You never gonna find me because I'm in Queens, nigga. I'm hiding. That is the fucking. I'm gonna live in a 3-fare zone. You gotta take an Uber to the bus to the train, nigga. Yeah. That's the only way to see
me. The architect of Queens was wild.
He was like, I don't like niggas. Niggas don't like me. He was like, I'm part of every race, right? This nigga was mad mixed. This nigga was, I'm Filipino and Guyanese and African and Ghanaian and Trinidadian and white.
Russian.
Right, I'm Russian and Italian. My parents from everywhere, nigga. I'm in Queens. And I don't understand how numbers work that well.
Oh, shit. No, man, Queens is good, man.
Queens is good, but you gotta be an adult to appreciate Queens. Like, if you like, because when we was young, and people be like, yo, come through, we in Queens. We're like, I'm good. Like, I'm not fucking going to
Even
Queens.
when I was in the store, I would get that. I mean, like, when I'm trying to get girls to come through to the apartment, and I had like a 2-bedroom to myself, I'm like, yo, come through. They're like, it's Astoria. Like,
yeah, like, yo, nigga.
You live in Midtown Manhattan. Like, just jump on the train real quick.
Nah,
nope.
Fuck that.
It was a story where all white people. It was wild.
It's not right. They don't even...
I feel like that's rude coming from somebody in Manhattan, though.
Yeah.
Like, the Brooklyn dude is like, nah, I gotta go to Manhattan to get to Astoria.
But Manhattan people never want to leave Manhattan. They're so fucking weird.
Yeah, that is...
But you know what? No, I'm not even going to say that because a lot of New Yorkers never leave the area they're in. Like, it's such a crazy New York thing because they have access to, like, the greatest city in the world. Like, you $3 away. This girl, Priya Blunts, had this post on Instagram, and she was doing that trend where she's like, I'm a New Yorker, of course I that shit. And one of the things she put, she was like, I'm a New Yorker, of course I've never been to Cat's Deli. And I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? I was like, why haven't you been to Cat's Deli? Wild. That shit is wild delicious. But that wasn't even the crazy shit. The crazy shit is niggas is in the comments backing her up, like, yeah, fuck that. Nah, don't go to Cat's. Like, and then niggas is saying shit like, why would you go to Cat's where you can get a sandwich at any store on the corner? You're like, nigga, do you really think that's the same sandwich? You think you getting the same shit for $4 from a nigga who also has a cat in the store? This nigga also sells condoms. You think this nigga makes better sandwiches than a nigga who only makes sandwiches? This nigga is rich because he makes sandwiches. He don't sell nothing else. You can't get no chips. You can't get no magazines. You can't get no war. You know what I'm saying? This nigga is selling everything under the sun, and you think he good at sandwiches? No. This nigga's good at finding shit to sell you niggas. Like, get the fuck out of here. That shit makes me so angry because New Yorkers really be like, nigga, I don't have to leave the block. The block got everything I need. Like, nigga, go look at shit. There's mad shit. And then these be the same niggas like, it's the white man. You like, nigga, you never even met no white people. You in New York, you never met no white people. You've been in Brownsville for 34 years straight.
It's like you never been on a plane. He's like, the white man keeping me on the ground. Like, what?
So that's the shit. Yes, that's the shit. 2024, leave your block. Leave your fucking block in 2024. Go to the adjacent neighborhood. Go eat a sandwich in an adjacent neighborhood where you don't know every fucking body. Put on some shoes, change out the pajama pants, put on a pair of regular pants with a belt, and go to a different neighborhood. Leave your block, nigga. It's the Simeon Goodson Show. Wait, I just looked at it. I took an Adderall. I'm sorry. You know what's fucked up, right? Because I got the Adderalls. My man he was like, yo, I got some shit. You gonna get fucked up. And I took the shit thinking I'm gonna get fucked up. But then I took it and I was like, yeah, let me get some work done. I feel a little more focused now. Let me tackle this to-do list. I've been sitting on this for a while. I feel very productive. Niggas like, yo, I think you sick. Nigga, I think you need to see a doctor. It's the Simeon Goodson Show. You already know what it is. We here with my main man, Brandon Collins, producer, comedian. He got a show coming up February 10th.
That's right.
Drunk Black History.
Yes, at Caveat NYC in the Lower East Side. We're also live streaming it for people that are not in the New York area. Tickets are available at drunkblackhistory.com. It's a show where we get fucked up and talk about unsung Black heroes or events.
Yo, shout out to Caveat. That space is beautiful.
And they just, and they're really supportive of this. I mean, a lot of venues that I've worked with in New York have been very supportive of the show. But this is like an opportunity to us really highlight like Black people that have had a huge impact in this country that like no one talks about and continue not to talk about because, states are just cutting education budgets and like not talking about Black history and shit. So it's a show that's really important to me. And I hope that y'all come out. You're going to get some laughs and you're going to learn something. So drunkblackhistory.com.
I found this is my shit for Christmas though. This is what I saw it on TikTok today because I be on TikTok, and I discovered a new TikTok, and I think it was my Christmas gift from Jesus. It was white dudes getting pulled over in traffic and cursing out the cop. Nigga, this is my new porn. This is what I jerk off to. That shit is amazing. You ever seen that shit? He be like, no, I do not have ID. I am traveling freely within a free zone. The cop is like, there's nothing I can do. I don't know what the fuck. I'm like, yeah, fuck that cop. Fuck yeah. I love this shit.
It's the Simeon Goodson Show. We back at it. Very special guest, Mom Dukes, Simeon Goodson in the building. So last time we spoke about, just the differences between, mixed race now and when you were young. Can we talk about because we have family all over, right? Or just East Coast?
The whole United States.
So what is the origins of us? Granny was in Charleston.
Right. Well.
So where did Papa come from?
Papa came from Shenzhen, China.
Right. But how did he get here?
How did he get here? He kind of had a sad childhood.
Right, with the war and everything.
No, even as a little boy, because he was, his mother died and his father remarried. So he had the classic stepmother. Mm-hmm. And we grew up here because you have to understand in Chinese culture, the oldest son inherits everything at that time. And so she wanted her son. So Daddy's childhood was not a good childhood. And we grew up hearing about the cow, the water buffalo cow, how at 8 years old, he had to do the rice fields. And he was supposed to make sure the mountain cow did not go in the rice. Mm-hmm. Now, this really didn't hit us as a dynamic until we had children and we saw 8-year-old Simeon, 8-year-old Lauren, then you imagine this little boy, and my brother who has passed, Terrence said, can you imagine this little tiny 8-year-old boy and this huge water buffalo trying to get the water buffalo out of the rice paddy from eating the rice because he's going to get a beating, and he's there standing there crying because the water buffalo wouldn't come out of the rice. It's funny to hear it now, but growing up, it was an eye roller. Here comes Daddy with the water buffalo.
Right, and he didn't speak a lot of English.
Right.
So he had about 4 stories on rotation. He had about 4 or 5 good English stories just on rotation, so you had to keep hearing. I remember, I didn't mean to interrupt, but I remember once my cousin Lauren, rest in peace, we was all at the table, and Papa started up with one of his joints, and Lauren was like, yeah, we know. We was all there like, he was like, yo, you can't interrupt the story. He was like, we know. And Papa started laughing. He was like, all right. He's like, all right, I guess I told that one before. But I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, it's, so when you're a child, you don't understand. But Daddy left home very, very early because home was not kind to him. And I'm named after his oldest sister, Lin Ying, because that was one of the few times we saw my father cry. Because he talked about how his stepmother would make him sit outside and only with a bowl of rice and a little piece of salt fish. In Chinese culture, there's a salted fish that you eat with rice. And he wouldn't give him any meat or anything. And his older sister used to hide food from the mother. And when the mother wasn't looking, she would sneak and feed him and give him food to eat. And that was
What are we talking here? Like the 20s?
no,
The
daddy was 80 when he died. So this is like, well, I was born in 51. Daddy was 38, 37 when I was born. So 50, yeah, about,
Okay.
well, like the late 20s, early 30s, because
Okay.
he was still little. So he always said if it wasn't for his sister, maybe he wouldn't have lived because his stepmother, she didn't beat him, but she neglected him.
Right.
So he left home very early and came. Now, this part of the story is muddled, but we do have papers and stuff that he worked on the boats. He actually worked on American boats as a cook, I think, we think. And the short story is he was landed in Charleston, and he went to Sing Lee Laundry, which used to be at 148 King Street, which is where my mother lived with my grandmother. My mother had 9 living brothers and sisters, and mommy being young, she was 12 at the time. So daddy saw her.
All right, let's skip this part. Let's skip this part. I don't know.
It's the 20s.
Well, this is
Right, that's why I needed to establish the year before we got into this part. I was like, well, this is back in the day, right? Well, a lot of things were different.
Yeah, and daddy I told you.
No, it's cool.
In those days, you got to remember, people got married at 13, 14, 15. Right. But daddy saw mommy. He went to take his uniforms to get cleaned. And supposedly, like in the Al Pacino Godfather scene where he's struck by a lightning bolt and he wants to marry the girl, daddy wanted to marry mommy. And he did the proper things. He went to grandmother and asked to marry her, to be engaged. And grandmother said yes, she consents. So mommy was pretty much betrothed from the time she was 12 years old.
Okay.
She went on to college, started college, and then after that, she came to New York and got married. And here I am.
How did they end up in New York, though? Just random?
Okay, because grandfather had business in New York. Don't ask me all. That's for the old kids. I don't know.
You know what I'm saying?
No, he used to go back and forth to New York. The family story goes that if the stock market had not crashed, we wouldn't exist because grandfather was planning on taking all of his family back to China.
Okay.
But because of the stock market crash, grandfather ended up staying in the States because whatever investments he had, whatever, had been lost. And they had the laundry, like I said, Sing Lee Laundry at 148 King Street. And that's how daddy met mommy. And he waited until she was 21, and then they got married.
Okay. Right?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, but in the meantime, mommy grew up, went to high school, did all the normal things, but it was the understanding that you're going to marry him one day. And mommy, being who she was, she loved her mother. She was obedient. Grandfather had died when she was 2 years old, and so she went off and married because that was grandmother's wish that, mommy marry him. So that's what she did. So daddy jumped ship. It's kind of muddy, the story, but I know he started a restaurant that had a fire. I know INS caught up with him, and he ended up being taken in. And because mommy had 10 years of love letters.
Okay.
That daddy had written her all those years, it was proof that he didn't pay her to marry him, because George and I were already born when immigration caught daddy. Mm-hmm. So after that, daddy became a citizen. He did all the things, and from that point on, he worked and was daddy. He worked in restaurants all of his life, and was daddy. He liked going to the racetrack. He loved Lucille.
He used to have like 40 decks of cards in his room. I remember that. He used to have just like a whole thing of cards.
Packs of cards.
Packs and packs of cards, brand new.
No 3-court Molly in the house.
Nah, he was playing like
game night.
Nah, he used to play games. I don't know what he played, but cause sometimes he would come home, he would come back to the house when we was there, and he would be, mad happy, mad groceries, everything lit.
Okay.
And sometimes he come home, he's like, yo, don't talk to me. You know what I mean? He's like, I'm like, it's not today.
At the association, the men gambled and stuff. So, and he loved Lucy and Desi. He loved that show because it was so similar to his own personal experience. He liked Ed Sullivan, Lucy, and boxing and wrestling, when wrestling was real wrestling. So, we used to watch wrestling with him and boxing. He liked boxing. Nice. So Daddy came from Sunshine. Like I said, he came. I'm not clear how he started working on the ships for the U.S., but he did. And then he jumped the ship and stayed in the United States, and he used to live in New York. That's how Mommy and Daddy came, because Daddy lived in New York. He was working in a restaurant. Okay. He was going back. Once he jumped ship, I'm not clear when that happened, but he was still working on the ship when he met Mommy when she was young. So he would go back and forth and write her letters and come visit and all of that. But then when she went to college and the family finances said she couldn't go back to college, grandmother said, okay, it's time for you to get married. Okay. And Daddy came and took her and
brought her back up to New York.
Right. And grandmother said, send me the marriage license or else.
Okay.
And that's what happened. And that's how we all started.
And that's how you ended up with this podcast, The Simeon Goodson Show. Let's talk about it. We'll be back.
I am a good a letter. Like, I wonder, like, if women nowadays will appreciate you wrote a nice letter.
Yeah, of course.
Just handwritten. Like, what? Like, what is this?
I still write. Letter writings is one of the most romantic, insightful things, but not even romantic, to sit down and take the time to write someone a letter. Mm-hmm. There is nothing more personal than a handwritten note, like a thank you note. A card is nice, but to sit down and write somebody, even if it's a short note, it shows that you cared enough to take the time.
Mm-hmm. What if it has a lot of grammatical errors?
You know something?
I want to know if it's still
right. What's the status?
You want to know something? When my mother died and my aunt and grandmothers died, they, as they're going through personal effects, they found letters I had written when I was 9, 10, 11, 12 to them. Okay. And it wasn't perfect. I have never had a nice handwriting. Simeon and Moy have beautiful handwritings. They just skipped that boat when it came to me. I do not have, I can create art, but I have a horrible handwriting.
Copy that.
And there is nothing more personal than sending somebody a personal note. They still in museums have Jackie Kennedy's personal thank yous and things like that, where she would write it first and then copy it over and things like that. It's a very personal thing, and it shows time. What a lot of people in
ChatGPT, write me a deeply personal note to the person I love most. Right? Handwritten, please. I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. But it's like in today's world, a lot of things in your lives now are surface. And this is not an old lady talking. It's like you skim, you speed read. There is a lot of times depth that doesn't happen. Yeah. And a personal 4-line, 6-line note to somebody is something that people really, most times, a text is nice. A digital card for Christmas is nice. And even if you don't keep the paper cards or the paper notes, the fact that for that moment, somebody took some time for you and took the time to walk to the post office and send it. It is a quality of life that hopefully will come back.
Yeah.
You heard it
Send
here first.
Sexy Red a note to see if she how she responds.
Please don't write a note to Sexy Red. Don't. That's when you use Chat GPT. You're like, Chat GPT, Sexy Red, love letter.
I am absolutely in love with you. Nah, I'm joking. I'm not going to like that. Sorry, I got my girl watching him.
Right. Simeon Goodson Show. Make sure you check out our merch shop. We got stationery. We got herbal supplements. We got colloidal silver.
Yep.
Simeon Goodson Show. Let's go.
Hey, Simeon?
Yep.
Is that you?
Yeah, that's me, baby.
Hey, I'm here to join the cult.
Hey, it's not a cult. It's a group. It's not a cult. Hey, welcome, man. Welcome. Thank you for coming out, man.
It is so nice to
Hey,
find you.
it's great to meet you,
Man,
brother. I was
you're
awaiting your presence, your arrival, because you know I'm the prophet.
That means the world to you.
I knew you was coming.
You are the
I
prophet.
knew you was coming.
I cannot tell you how big of a deal it is.
Oh,
I've been
my
watching
goodness.
your stand-up,
Really?
your podcast,
What else?
everything, just, your OnlyFans,
Yeah.
everything you got to say. Man.
Yeah,
You know,
that's
even
what
the
I'm
crotch
talking
area,
about.
It's like,
Right.
it's just the truth.
Well, you
And I
know,
feel like-
let's cut the small talk.
Let's cut the small talk. I'm
small
ready to
talk.
join.
Let's
I'm
get
ready
you
to
in.
join. Yeah,
let's
let's do
get
it.
you
Let's
in.
do it, man.
All we need to do, okay. Let's get you joined. You gotta pay. You gotta join first. Now we gotta get you joined.
Okay.
All we need is your entry donation. Little quick $100,000. Let's get it out the way. Go ahead.
Okay, just $100,000.
Little $100,000. Go ahead.
It shouldn't be.
It should be good. You should be good.
Yeah,
But
I mean that's a little steep. It's a little steep.
$50,000. 50% off discount for my mint. Because I see
Right,
you.
right,
I
that's
see the
good,
light
pretty good.
in your
Sure,
eyes.
don't do that. That's right.
Oh,
But
shit,
yeah,
you're right, my
yeah,
bad.
It's still a little.
All right, do,
If I could get it, because I'll be the best member.
Do 1,000. Do 1,000 right now.
$1,000.
1,000. Call it a
That's a
day.
way
Call
better
it a day.
price. Way
Write it
better
out.
price. Way better
Bust
price.
it out. $1,000.
Right, I can't do that.
You don't have 1,000. Yeah, I'll
Here's
take a
the thing.
check.
I'm a cash guy.
You a cash guy?
I'm a cash guy.
You a cash
I'm a
guy?
cash guy.
Oh,
I'm a cash
so
guy.
I'm fucking up. All right, let's do. How much cash you got?
Okay, well let me.
How much cash you got? You got cash?
Yeah, I got.
Like do like 100. Do like 500.
I got 125 right here,
This-
and then I need the rest of it for the train home. But you keep that. You keep that, all right? So what are we gonna do first, man? What are we gonna do?
All right. Well,
What are we
first
up to?
we're gonna send you on your first mission.
Yeah. What's that?
Your first
I'm
missionary.
I'm so excited.
Your first
bro.
missionary
I'm so-
escapade.
As
an escapade.
Yeah, let's do the
You ready?
escalade.
You gotta go find some money. That's the plan. You ready? No, we're gonna find some real money, some money we could do something with,
Sam,
brother.
please, I
Because
promise.
you are the number one. You the sergeant at arms.
I
You
am.
the sergeant at arms. Who the sergeant at arms?
I'm the sergeant.
Who the sergeant
I'm
at
the
arms?
sergeant.
I need you to find me some paper.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sergeant.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sergeant.
Oh, could I get that?
No, I need this. We need this for donations.
okay.
Yes, sergeant.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Let's go get you
Okay.
on and go.
Okay.
Okay, do what you gotta do. What the man? I just sergeant.
Can I call you daddy?
No,
Okay.
please don't. $1.20.
Anything you want to say? Anything you want to shout out? You want to plug?
No.
No?
Just like I hope all y'all become famous one day. Since you buy me a house in Curacao.
Let's do it.
See?
That's where we at. That's where the cult located, Curacao. All right, thanks for coming out, Mom. Love you.
Okay, love you too.
And that's it. It's the Simeon Goodson Show.
What's his name?
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
They don't want Louis, they don't want Gucci. They just want to give your boy a little bit of coochie in the back of the hoop. In the back of the hoop, in the back of the hoop, in the back of the hoop. They don't want Louis, they don't want Gucci. They just want to give your boy a little bit of coochie in the back of the hoop. In the back of the hoop, in the back of the hoop, in the back of the hoop. Bitch, don't roll my windows down, cause them shits don't go back up. Bitch, that music up too loud, you gon' pop open my trunk. Once that muffler hit the ground, call a tow truck, bitch, we stuck. While we wait for AAA, while we gon' go ahead and fuck. I ain't got fluids, I ain't got brakes, I ain't going on no motherfucking highway. But we can hit the back roads, hit it from the back road, rubbing on that ass while your face in the dashboard. Hazards flickering, each and every pumping a bad bitch with a nigga pushing while I clutch. Till the hazards flickering, each and every pumping a bad bitch with a nigga pushing while I clutch. They don't want Louis, they don't want Gucci, they just want to give your boy a little bit of coochie in the back of the hoop. In the back of the hoop, in the back of the hoop, in the back of the hoop. They don't want Louis, they don't want Gucci, they just want to give your boy a little bit of coochie in the back of the hoop. In the back of the hoop, in the back of the hoop, in the back of the hoop.
Bought me some tires, riding the wheels. Up in the hoopty, I'm fucking this groupie. I'm killing this pussy. Write you a wheel, put on your seatbelt. I hit these brakes. Your life is at stake. Liable to fly out the windshield. AC broke, so how we gon' chill. Cadillac converter, stay still. For real. See my check engine, light is emitting. Hop out the car, then pop in the hood. I'm searching for symptoms. Got back in the whip, lights still flicking. Damn, am I tripping? Fuck, man. What? I just checked it. Need a new whip, get it totaled out. Tell insurance that I wrecked it. They don't want piggies, they don't want sushi. They just wanna give your boy a little bit of coochie in the back of the hoop. 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 They don't want movies, they don't want sushi. They just wanna give your boy a little bit of coochie in the back of the hoop. In the back of the hoop. In the back of the hoop. In the back of the hoop.
Bitch, it was an OT Camry. That's what this nigga had me on the backseat. Y'all know daddy, I was looking real nasty. Made enough fastly, had me on my knees, them shits was wild ashy. Breathing mad hard, fogging up the glassy, messing in my hair. But I'm still a baddie, weird with his hands. One on the wheel, the other on my ass cheek. Yeah, I'm that bitch, and I ain't gotta ask G's, give me that dick. And I ain't gotta say please, windows can't go up, so we getting mad breeze. No push a start, this nigga got mad keys. Not the keys like Pablo, this nigga getting no cheese, but he got me cuffed up and he ain't gotta say freeze. Not the keys like Pablo, this nigga getting no cheese, but he got me cuffed up and he ain't gotta say free. I don't want goofies, I don't want roofies. I just wanna give your boy a little bit of coochie in the back of the hoop. In the back of the hoop, in the back of the hoop, in the back of the hoopty. I don't want goofies, I don't want roofies. I just wanna give your boy a little bit of coochie in the back of the hoop. In the back of the hoop, in the back of the hoop, in the back of the hoopty.